Okay, trustees, we are live. We are recording. Phone lines are opened. Go for it.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the East Hampton Town Trustees for October 17th, 2025. And we should open with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Arlene, can you do roll call, please?
So we have John Aldridge,
Here.
Francis Bach,
Here.
David Cataletto,
Here.
Patrice Dalton,
Here.
okay, Ben Dollinger is trying to come, Tim Garneau, Jim Grimes, Celia Josephson,
Yes.
and Bill Taylor. Thank you.
Okay, so we're short a quorum at the table, which means we will not be able to vote. Patrice is on Zoom, but in order for her to vote, we have to have a quorum in the room.
Policy statement?
That's our policy. That's how we wrote our policy for Zoom. So we're hoping Ben Dollinger gets here. He's obviously late. And if he does arrive, then that will change. Okay. Start with public comment. Yeah, Scott, do you want to wait to, could you wait for a little bit and see if?
What you suggest.
That'll give Ben a little bit more time to get here. Okay, so Mary Ann, Eddie?
Can I just take the agenda?
Yeah.
Take a look.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I know it's really a busy time right now. There's elections, there's vacations, there's everything else going on. I've had trouble getting in touch with somebody to ask for the ability to make a short presentation for the Sag Harbor Water Quality Initiative. You all have been consistent donors. And it's even more important than your donation is the fact that you're a conduit through which we can get funds to Stony Brook research. So I'm hoping that we can continue that relationship going forward. This year I'm not going to make a presentation, but I just want to say that this year there was this very surprising article, Surfrider ABC News, that talked about the various testings that they had done. 10,000 testings, samples, in 600 beaches from Washington State to Puerto Rico. And they had the 10 purest beaches and they had the 10 worst beaches. And the one that they listed, it wasn't alphabetical, it wasn't numerical, but it was listed first, was Windmill Beach. And this has kind of got some people with their hair on fire. And they want to say that, in fact, this is all dead bacteria that's coming from the sewage treatment plant, which is 0.3 miles from Windmill Beach, and that the bacteria that's showing up on the wharf is their dead bacteria from the sewage treatment plant. And we're in the process of really going through and analyzing that theory. So there's two reasons why your support is really necessary this year. Is one, to really find out where that pollution is coming from. It's Enterococcus, coliform bacteria. And also because we need you to be able to funnel money from the village and from Southampton. So thank you. So I just need to know who I could contact to plead my case to get on your agenda.
Get on the agenda. You can get on a future agenda right now if you want.
Pardon me?
You could get on a future agenda right now.
Okay, that's great. Talk right now or talk to Arlene.
Yeah, just email Arlene and it'll probably be next Monday if you want, or
A week from
2
Monday.
weeks.
right?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
That's like the 29th or something?
Yeah, if we're not that packed, but probably that.
Okay,
could work.
that's really great. Arlene, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Or what did you just tell me? Which
So the
day?
27th.
The 27th? The 27th should be just fine.
Yeah.
She's here. Can we discuss it?
All right, thank you so
All
much.
right,
I'll
thank
see you on the
Yeah,
27th.
we're looking forward to it.
Mary
She has to
Ann,
She's
prepare.
been trying
She has to
every
I have
prepare.
a quick question.
Yeah, of course.
how many times has Chris Gobler's testing shown that the sewage treatment plant is not, is performing as designed?
Well, Chris Gobler, without going through every detail, but I've heard that there was one time when he went and he looked at and analyzed the human DNA that was coming through the sewage treatment plant into the water, testing the effluent as it comes out of the UV light. And he said it was cell debris that was picking up DNA. It was not live cells. I don't think he's done that every year. I'd have to go back and look.
Hasn't he done coliform testing every year?
Yes, yeah.
Is that
And the
showing?
DEC does as well.
That's showing,
It shows that there's human, but his theory, I think it's more than a theory. I think his analysis shows that it's not live bacteria that are coming out of the sewage treatment plant, that it's cell debris after it's gone through the UV light that is now, destroyed. The cells are broken up, but the DNA still shows up when he does the microbial source tracking. You want to
Showing coliform, high coliform counts coming out of the sewage treatment plant or not? I'm not clear about that.
It's showing, well, we have DEC reports as well, because the DEC is, they're, testing and looking at it all the time. And I don't look at those reports, but Aidan Korish, she's one of the trustees, is all over it and maintains that we have a very good, clean bill of health in terms of the sewage treatment plant and the effluent that's going into Sag Harbor Bay. I could come back with you with those reports as well as specifics about what Dr. Gobler has seen coming from the sewage treatment plant.
so whose data is it that's causing the concern at Windmill Beach? Whose data is being used?
Surfrider is taking water samples.
Well, Surfrider does sample, and they've been sampling Windmill Beach. They also sample Havens Beach. They test over there at Long Beach. And it's their data that was in this report. It's in their April annual report, which was, the culmination of 10,000 samples from 600 beaches.
Yeah, I read it, yeah.
Yeah, and we did not come out looking well. But that's not human. That's everything. They don't differentiate. They don't do microbial source tracking, Surfrider. So we can't say that it was human. But when we have looked at it before at Windmill Beach, we find that there's human there, and we find there's human coming off the wharfs where we have transient docks. But the other thing that we've done the last 2 and 3 years is there is a pipe, a big storm drain that comes all the way from the library down through Main Street, collecting all the storm sewers all the way down. And we've been sampling that, and it has a lot of bacteria in it as well. But when you look at the bar graph, it's like the tiniest little red thread that shows how much is human. So it's not coming from the storm drains.
Yes, we'll see the presentation.
Can I ask you a question? I'm online, Teresa.
It's like God's talking to me. Yes.
So
You should be able to see her on that one.
Oh,
Surfrider tests for enterovirus, or what is it?
no, they just test for enterococcus.
Yes, so that's an indicator bacteria.
Yeah, it's just an indicator bacteria. That's totally right.
Yeah, so I don't know if you still go to PEP, but they put together an app which is supposed to integrate all of the water quality data onto a map. And if you could download.
I'm sorry, you said Peconic Estuary Partnership? Yeah, but they won't
Yeah.
include Surfrider.
If you could download that from the Apple App Store and look at the map and see if any of that data is coming through, because it should be, and I don't see it, and it may be a data integration issue, but that would be a great tool for you to communicate with when it does work correctly.
One of the reasons you might not be seeing that is because I asked Joyce when I went to like the, I don't know, local government, one of the meetings. And they
Right.
talked about that new application that shows, it's an aggregation of a lot of different testing. And I said, so you're not including Surfrider? And they said no, because they didn't feel confident in the methodology and I don't know,
Yeah. Well,
or whatever from Surfrider.
I think it would be helpful if they would integrate that data regardless of the
Me too.
data quality, because it's very important. It's like the only indicator we have sometimes. And,
Right.
I don't see it when I look at the map. So I guess,
I would agree with you, even if they want to put an asterisk after that data and say that this doesn't conform to like, the strict, guidelines that they normally, use in terms of what they aggregate. But I do think that it's an important, source of information. And I'm not a power and influence at the Peconic Estuary Partnership, but I agree with you. One, that it's an important aggregation of data, and two, it's too bad that Surfrider isn't included.
I'll mention it to her because we're trying to do some beta testing of the app. And right now it's not coming through. So I thought it was just my phone or something about my setup, but apparently they're not integrating it.
I don't think they want to include it. But
Yeah.
your voice would be important, saying that, yes, put it in, highlight it, bold it, say that there's like questions about this data, but I think that it's good enough that it should be included.
Yeah.
I agree with you. All right, thank you. I will see you next week
Okay.
or next month or
Thanks,
whatever.
Rand.
Okay, Scott DeBriner for InterScience Research, you're up.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Scott Dobriner. I work at InterScience Research Associates, and my official title is Senior Environmental Planner and Landscape Architect. I'm here tonight to present to you a fairly modest dune restoration located at 75 West End Road in the village. It has incurred some erosion over the past several years. It hasn't really been addressed. The principal of our firm, Richard Warren, met with Jim Grimes on the property 2 weeks ago, and Jim was in support of the proposal. This is the plan. Maybe it would be better if I put it there. So this is probably right now more important than the plan that I put in front of you. When I submitted the
Speak to the microphone.
Yeah, 1 second. Also, Scott, can you move that back just a little bit so the camera can maybe pick it up? Oh, he's got it. Okay, never mind.
We good?
We're good.
Max on it.
So this is, when I submitted the application, these were the site conditions. Not horrible, not great, but it's worthy of some care. I went to the site Monday. That's what it is now. So if it needed a dune restoration then, it needs it even more now. We've done these numerous times. The most familiar dune restoration that you guys probably are aware of that we do almost on a yearly basis is right next door at 85 and 93 West End Road.
Okay, great.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just indulge you for a moment. If you look at photo 2, I submitted these with the application. Photo 2 on the first sheet.
Thank you.
Can we have one more over here? Or do you need
We need your vote for this. Okay.
So photo 2 on sheet 1 shows the Rainer Dune restoration to the left. And the property that I am currently representing before you now is on the right. At the end of the day, once this restoration is completed, it will look like the Rainer Dune restoration on the left, which always gets positive reviews from the public and regulatory agencies. We do it at least every other year. And I've been working on this since 2011.
What does the Rainer Dune restoration look like now after the
It looks
storm?
good. Well, it doesn't look as bad as this. At the stairs, there's about a 4 or 5 foot escarpment. It may recover. This may recover. Last winter was a very strange winter in which the beach actually rose in elevation and the bluff accreted. That hardly ever happens over the course of the winter. Fingers crossed, maybe that'll happen again. Right now, the site.
There were no nor'easters last winter.
Yeah, right now, that whole stretch of coastline is pretty vulnerable, but who knows? Maybe Mother Nature will be kind. We've done some dune restorations in the fall before, and it's always very risky because it tends to get wiped out over the winter. So I would probably suspect that this would take place the second half of March, just like we do the Rainer Dune restoration at the same time. But that's
This is
it.
a little off topic, but is there a plan to improve the Rainer Dune as well this
Oh, yeah.
March?
Yeah, you've actually the trustees have issued a 5-year permit on that. The DEC issued a 10-year permit on that. And yesterday I picked up the village coastal erosion permits for Rainer.
Good.
So, and the village has indicated that they'll approve this as well. Once I can provide them, here's the trustees. So, I don't know if I need to speak anymore. I'm happy to respond to your questions.
I spoke to Jim earlier today about this property, and he indicated that the conditions there when he saw it is that the properties on both sides were pretty good, but this property for some reason scallops
It does.
probably from the jetty.
When it looked kind of like this when he was here 2 weeks ago.
Right. So he's in favor of the project.
And is there any plan to improve like the public access there as well?
That public access is owned by the village.
Yeah.
In order to do a dune restoration on that property, which is 79 West End Road, we would need to have village permission and go through the permit process on that as well.
I feel like last time you were here, you touched on that a little bit. Maybe there was like a stairway.
That was for a revetment,
Oh, okay.
and the village was for that.
Mhm.
We actually had, the revetment was kind of cool in that it had stone steps, which allowed the public to go down instead of a wooden walkway, which tends to get washed away a lot. The DEC has been challenging with respect to that proposal. So that's why our client has moved to a dune restoration only on 75.
Okay. And it was the revetment on 75?
Excuse me?
Was it 475? The revetment?
Oh, yeah, the revetment
Yeah.
was going to be on the village property,
Yeah.
on 75 West End Road,
Yep.
and actually also on the adjacent property, which is 69. So it's three adjacent parcels.
Okay. So is that
Oh.
still in play on the back burner?
Excuse me?
Is that still potentially in play, that plan?
It's, the permits are still valid from you and from the village. We haven't gotten one from the DEC yet. They did approve the dune restoration that I'm currently before you. So
They're hung up on that revetment, huh?
for,
For
they
whatever reason.
not, we haven't withdrawn the application, but they approved this.
How long has that been an active application before
With
the
the DEC?
DEC?
Like 2 years now?
More than that. It took 18 months just to get an initial response. And that was
And this
probably
was instant, pretty much instant.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, you got an initial response?
No, we submitted the application probably, I don't have
Yeah.
in front of me, but I'm just off the top of my head, I'm saying 4 years ago, we submitted the application and then it took 18 months from the time we submitted that application to get a response.
And that's the last you've heard from them? or-
No, we went back and forth and it didn't appear like they were going to budge. They kept saying dune restoration, dune restoration. So we eventually proposed the same plan that you have before you. They approved.
Anyone have any questions? Anyone else?
Straightforward, right?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the dune restoration for 75 West End Road.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Patrice? Patrice, you
I
there?
think for the record, she said yes, she's muted.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Anyone opposed? Okay.
Thanks,
We're
Scott.
good with it, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And I will, this is your easel, which I stole from the corner. I will put it back. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
night.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
All right, we'll move on to new business. We'll start with Suffolk County draft legislation enacting permit requirements for PRBs. Who wants to take that on?
What are PRBs?
Your permeable reactive barriers. I'm trying to share my screen here. Bush ponds.
This is Suffolk County Health Department you're talking about, right?
Put it on. So do I have the only copies of these?
I downloaded them. Copies digitally. Would you like to share them?
So Suffolk County Health Department is, has a draft legislation that they'll be requiring permits for the installation of permeable reactive barriers. And I sent the board a copy of the information, the proposed legislation, the standards for procedures for the installation and long-term monitoring of PRBs. And I looked through them. I've been involved with approving PRBs for the board, for this board, as part of the water quality, what do you call it? The Community Preservation Fund Water Quality Initiative for the last several years. And we've mostly worked with Cornell Cooperative Extension on this, and Ron Paulson, who sort of has done PRBs probably the longest in Suffolk County. used to work for Cornell and now has his own company. And anyway, in looking at these standards and this legislation, we have the opportunity to comment on this until November 7th, I think it is. That period had just recently been extended from a few days ago, actually. So I emailed Kim Shaw, the Environmental Protection Director, and got her take on it. I felt this legislation was a little bit overbearing, actually. It requires all kinds of hoops to jump through, and it's actual legislation. I mean, you can't do a PRB project without pleasing the points here in the legislation. The DEC actually has put out guidelines for the installation and monitoring of PRBs, but hasn't put any, legislative stipulations on it. And Natural Resources feels also as though this legislation is a bit much and may actually impede this kind of work going forward. And that's kind of the sense I got from looking at this, the points in this legislation.
I have a question. Who ends up putting up these barriers? I mean, it seems like a basic question. The point is to remove nitrogen, to create a barrier to the nitrogen going through into the water. But who is it who would actually erect these barriers?
Well, so far, it's pretty much been Ron Paulson's company in cooperation with Cornell Cooperative Extension, who's done a lot of the monitoring work and preliminary assessment of the need for, the location that needs it most. For example, the most recent one that was installed in East Hampton was part of a bulkhead replacement up in Springs on 3 Mile Harbor, just north of Harbor Marina, where the owner of the property was agreeable to having a PRB installed behind the bulkhead that they were replacing.
Okay.
And the monitoring had been done to determine where the focus of nitrogen coming into the harbor from the groundwater was, and it was determined to be in this location. So
would it be the homeowner then that has to apply for the permit?
Well, in this case, it was a CPF funded installation.
Okay.
I can give you history of one by the general store in Springs. That one was co-funded by the town and by the Acabonic Protection Committee, because it took a lot of investigation to find where the plume was entering. So it was not the homeowner it was not the general store owner that really pursued this. It was more people that had environmental interests, and they could tell from the work that Molly and Ron did what was going on with the hydrology. So, I mean, I think these things are really complicated, and I know that New York State just released sort of a seminal document about PRBs not too long ago. So I imagine this picked up a lot of that language from the state document, which they offered training on. But I definitely want to take a close look at it. I haven't read it yet, but I will.
Yeah, just interesting because I think all we hear about is how helpful they are for the water sources, and I'm just kind of curious, why are they? It seems like we should be making these more easy to put up and less red tape than making this more difficult for people to use and to protect our water system.
Well,
So, I mean,
I can tell you when Seal Down, she founded the Aquabonic Protection Committee. When she heard about these, she wanted to put one around the entire Aquabonic Harbor. She was so thrilled. But it's not, it's really more painstaking investigation about where it would actually make a difference. And so like the one that John talked about, the bulkhead replacement, they seem to find that that was an entry point for nitrogen, but you have to find that right spot. And the one at Springs General Store, that plume that they're trying to intercept, it seems like it may have moved a little bit. So there's a lot of monitoring that goes on with them. I can't imagine a homeowner doing this, but it's interesting.
So these tend to be government projects, not private property owner projects. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say that's correct. Yes.
I think so.
And there's as Patrice sort of said, there's an awful lot of the, preliminary investigation and continuous monitoring going on to determine their effectiveness, because, money's being spent and everybody wants to know it's being spent appropriately. To put it in legislation seems, when, as far as I know, this is, it's all being done the way the legislation sort of forces it to be done already anyway, but it adds another layer that I'm not sure is really necessary or warranted.
So they don't explain what their concerns are with this, but they seem to be focused mostly on the monitoring plan.
Right.
Mhm.
So, in fact, they want to reach back to projects that have already been installed and force them to create a long-term monitoring plan that meets their standards.
Yeah.
What's their jurisdiction?
It's the health department.
Where are they putting this? In the sanitary code?
Yes.
Yes, it is
Article
sanitary
It's not
code.
7.
associated with any, it's not associated with the creation of any effluent, right? It's not associated. You put in permeable reactive barrier. You don't necessarily do it in conjunction with any project that would generate nitrogen. Am I right?
That
Correct.
would generate what?
Generally, they locate an existing plume and then build these things to try to intercept that
Yeah.
plume.
I don't know how the health department's involved here, to be honest with you, but not my battle right now, unless somebody wants to sue them or ignore them and let them sue you.
so what do you want to just write a letter? The trustees are not in favor of the,
I don't know. I don't know if it's, we're definitely opposed to it or if we have
Right.
concerns for various reasons. I don't know, maybe, I haven't heard this one before that Rick just expressed. Do they even have, is there even any reason to put this in a code?
Yeah.
Is this voluntary? In other words, is this something that, for example, CPF would decide, let's do this or let's allocate funds, but where there isn't a requirement, it's more sort of dealing with a specific plume, but they're not required to act in a specific way.
No, because you'd have to have the right situation for it to be of any value. You couldn't just say before you examined a site that you want to put a PRB there. It might generate no reduction in nitrogen. And there's so many different aspects to this. Like you have to have a way to oxygenate the effluent as you pull it in. You need some like wood chips or of different types that actually pull the nitrogen out. It's very scientific and very customized.
Yes, it's voluntary, basically. It's not a requirement.
What is the deadline for comment on this?
November 7th.
Number 7.
Oh, jeez.
When's our next meeting?
27th of October.
I mean, we could,
Think about it and read up.
I'll send Rick this legislation, see if he can
Yeah,
pick it
send it
apart
over.
legally.
Yeah, Rick.
Meantime, maybe meet with Kim and discuss common
Yeah,
thoughts on
yeah, I
this.
think it would be helpful if the town was sort of together on how they felt about it and
Mhm,
get the county from the right and the left.
mhm.
There you go.
I mean, the one at Springs General Store, that has a solar collector to power it. There's so many bits of it, and if you were to abandon that, you're gonna say it didn't work, that would be, the question would be like, what parts of that would you take away? Because right now, it's quite quite an endeavor there. It's a lot of components to it.
What does it need solar power for?
Well, there are pumps involved in that system that need to be powered.
Yeah.
They don't all know.
Permeable
They
reactive
don't all.
barrier, right?
They don't all have to do that, no.
But they needed a way to oxygenate, to create, to pull in oxygen. So that's what they decided to do in that situation.
The material used to extract, to neutralize the nitrogen, if that's the right way of describing it, it only works on a certain form of nitrogen. And if the groundwater coming through where the PRB is placed isn't the right form of nitrogen, it has to be oxygenated to change it into the form of nitrogen that will be impacted by the PRB.
Mhm. Exactly.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It depends on the nature of the groundwater and at the site.
Well, I guess maybe part of the approach would be to the health department is that we want to incentivize the installation of these PRBs. We don't want to be erecting barriers, no pun intended, to these nonprofits that are involved and public monies that are involved in trying to protect the water supply.
Right.
So, or the water
Yeah, I
bodies.
agree.
In other words, you would think the health department would have an interest in this if a permeable reactive barrier could be harmful to human health.
Mhm.
And I don't understand, I mean, I don't, I have a basic understanding, I think, of these things, but I can't conceive of
Right.
how they'd be harmful. So why would the health department be regulating them?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right, and they should at least explain it,
What's their
their
concern?
reasoning,
Yeah.
right?
They may have, and I just don't have the documents.
Well, if they don't state it in there.
There was a meeting that preceded these documents going out
Mhm.
that I didn't attend, but Natural Resources did. I mean, maybe we can ask Kim to come to the next meeting and give us a little bit more
Mhm.
information about it, since she did attend the meeting and she's, been working on this for a long time, and she's, used to work at the county, and she's familiar with a lot of different angles here.
Good idea.
And if it were a joint letter, perhaps, between the town and us, that would give more
Right.
oomph.
Yeah, they definitely have the expertise, and really Molly and Ron are the subject matter experts, along with people in Dr. Gober's lab. But it's really for hydrologists, and if I were going to start out my career again, I would become a hydrologist, because I just think that's where so much work is going to be.
Never too late.
Anybody else? We done with this?
For now.
For now, okay. All right, move on, snow fence at Main Beach complaint. That's about,
I don't know, I got an email or copies I got an email from the office, actually. We got an email from either individual, or it was a copy of a letter to the village from an individual complaining about the snow fence on the Ocean Beach. Let's see if I can pull these pictures up. Snow fence.
They send the photos, the complaint, or you went out and took a few?
They were in the email. I think, yeah, the person complaining. So actually, I noticed this a couple of weeks ago myself before I saw this email. And it looked, anyway, the fence looks like it's really far out on the beach. This location is the house just west of the main beach pavilion parking lot. It's a replacement fence.
Who installed it?
First Coastal.
Really?
Jim?
And there was evidently an application filed with us for this fence that wasn't acted on. Is that correct?
I think tabled, yeah,
A long while ago.
just tabled.
So
I believe Jim made contact with First Coastal about it.
Is this the one that Jim called?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we can skip over this for the moment.
Jim called one.
Jim called First Coastal.
Oh.
I heard the conversation. It wasn't nice.
You don't know the result.
That's the fence. Everybody knows.
Ancient highway shed.
Okay, that I don't have a picture of. Let me get rid of this now.
An arrow up there.
Ancient highway shed. There's a shed on Ancient Highway, as we know. We sent the property apparently responsible for the placement of this shed a letter saying we want it off Ancient Highway,
It's on trustee property.
on trustee property, Ancient
It
Highway.
appears to be, yeah.
And the homeowner claimed it wasn't their shed in an email. And I visited the shed, the area with Rick last week. And it didn't, we have since gotten a survey of the property that it apparently was placed on Ancient Highway from, determined that it indeed is on Ancient Highway, there's no glitch in the property lines there. And I spoke to the homeowner last Friday,
Mhm.
and she reiterated that it wasn't hers. And I asked her, who she thought it might be, if it wasn't hers, right next to her property. And she said, well, maybe the previous homeowner. And I asked her if she could give me that information. She said she would try. Haven't heard anything back. I think when push comes to shove, we're gonna have to remove this ourselves. The only question I have is, should we try to remove the shed, or should we just break it up and get it put in the
What
dumpster?
condition is it?
Yeah, so we need a shed.
Well, well, first of all, it seems to be full of stuff. It's hard to tell how much stuff. There's a lock on the door. And the window really we weren't able to see through it very well. And there seemed to be stuff in front of the window, so it almost looked like it was packed full of stuff.
If we were to let this homeowner know that we were going to be removing this shed and give him an idea of when, do you think it might find itself getting emptied?
Well, I did, I kind of had that discussion with her when I was talking to her and, or it kind of came around to that in the discussion. And she kind of balked a little bit, not really balked, but she asked the question, well, whoever's stuff this is in the shed, maybe they would want to, remove it. So, yeah, Rick advised that if we do move forward, we should give her one last, we're removing the shed on a
Yeah,
certain.
I'd give her a heads up before you do it, and if she does have a connection to the shed or has access to it and wants to take whatever personal property might be in there, let her take it out. I would give her a heads up.
Where on Ancient Highway is it? Pretty far down.
It's
Halfway?
adjacent to 31 Cosdrew Lane.
Okay.
31 Cosdrew Lane backs up to Ancient Highway. It's right. I don't know if it's visible on the aerial because there's trees over it.
So
And then,
one other thing is there's a property there that has a trailer on it, which is on our property.
on Ancient Highway,
Yeah, and it's on Cosdrew. It's one.
yeah, I noticed
So-
that. Too.
And then we have another property further down the end, which has a private road, no trespassing sign. So there's, kind of, it's curious, do we want to let that person keep the trailer there? And do we want those other people to say that it's a private road? It's only at the end sort of, and I don't blame them, but it's just, how much control or lack of it over this area that we're responsible for, do we want to tolerate?
Well, why don't we move the shed first and then send this other person a letter about the trailer and.
So there's a trailer on the right of way as well, further down?
Apparently.
Well, it's like a
You said on it.
landscaping trailer, not a big one of those ones that they put the lawnmowers on.
There's like does it have wheels?
Yeah, looks like it's
It's like a
just,
vehicle parked in
It's
the
an
road.
open trailer.
yeah, just a flatbed trailer.
Will the tool shed fit on it?
No, it's not big enough.
And then we still have tree.
You'd have to get into the shed to determine how good it is. And
Right.
I guess once we go and, but we're gonna have to make the decision what we want to do before we get into the shed, I guess.
Is it right on
Is
the
that
road?
fenced, John? Is that fenced off?
The shed, no. It's between two trees, but somebody who knew what they were doing could probably get it onto a trailer. If they could get the trailer perpendicular to the roadway, it's kind of tight. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm not used to moving sheds myself.
It's kind of overgrown a little bit, but not terribly overgrown, so maybe someone's still using it.
I'm sure someone's still using it.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of room to put anything further inside that shed.
Yeah, that's true.
So we good with that?
Well, I'm not sure what.
We'll let them know. We'll let them know that the shed is going to be removed by a certain date. We'll see if it gets empty.
Yeah.
Well, how are you gonna remove it?
What
Huh?
about,
How are you gonna remove it?
what about what?
What's the date?
One step at a time here.
Well, should we ask that lady to sign off that she does not want anything that's in that shed and she relinquishes control of it?
Claims it's not her shed.
Claim it's not hers.
She put it in writing,
She
right?
put it in writing, she's not deviated from her story. In conversations with the office, conversations with me, just,
It's in an email, and it's not physically on her property, it's on the trustee land.
Mhm.
She just claimed ownership.
So maybe in two months,
That's too long.
is that too long?
well, I think we kind of have to sort of make a decision what we're gonna do with it. Are we gonna
Yeah.
try to empty it and then move it?
It depends on the condition.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
If it's in good shape, which you said we wouldn't know until it's empty.
but then we have to,
Are we like getting a dumpster? Like how are we emptying it? You know?
yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm kind of trying to get a sense of, where we're headed with
Well,
this.
we're hoping that someone else is going to empty it.
I wouldn't count on
I
that.
wouldn't
Yeah.
I've been out
count
there. I
on
wouldn't
that.
count on that. I think you're gonna hire a contractor and remove it or destroy it.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we deal with it then, but in the
Well, that's what I'm
meantime,
saying, because, before you notify them.
she indicated that maybe the person who owns it might want to get their things out of it.
Mhm.
Oh, she did.
She, yeah,
She knows the.
No, it sounds like she was.
As just a, point of discussion.
Yeah, I think I like going back to maybe finding out who the previous owner was and see if they have any information.
Well, we have
an idea.
their,
Oh, okay.
we have a record of
Sure.
their thing. I mean, the previous owner was, maybe this is 20, 30 years ago, before anybody differently named. I just, it's gonna be, I mean, if we're gonna empty the shed, evaluate the shed, and then decide whether we're gonna move the shed, then we have to decide, okay, who's gonna move? Are we gonna get prices and a dumpster, and then remove the shed, and then remove the stuff from the shed? And then, or are we gonna do all this at once, in which case?
have a yard sale with the contents.
I mean, could be some de Koonings and Pollocks jammed in there, right?
It's gonna cost some money, It's gonna be thousands of dollars, I think. I mean, I think, it would be probably cheaper to say, let's just break up the shed and put it in a dumpster and take it away. Do we want to evaluate the costs one way or another before we start making decisions?
How big is the shed?
It's like maybe 10 by 15 or
It's kind of big.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Few hundred square feet.
Why don't we all look at it if we can, and then
Yeah,
next meeting,
next meeting.
we'll have a better sense of what to do.
Yeah, it's at 32 Cottage Street.
Seems like we'll have to, get someone to demo it and get it carted out of there.
Can somebody go there and take a picture and
Yeah,
email
yeah,
it?
It's right near my
Yeah.
house. Yeah, it's near my home.
Well, I have a picture of it.
Oh, you do?
I think I showed
Yeah,
it.
it's not a nice looking shed at all.
It's not a great picture.
Excuse me. So we kicking the can till next meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You kicking the shed down the road?
We're mowing it. Some PVC pipe.
Hey, Gerard Park grading. So is this, those two roads that are
This is,
opposite each other?
right, the two
Okay.
trails, one goes to the bay, one goes to the harbor. Yeah, I got a email for a call from the highway department asking if it was okay if they graded those roads. I guess Parks, I think, might have been concerned that emergency vehicles would have a hard time because there were big potholes in the road. I mean, it's dirt, so there were like big dips and rises.
Well, there's no residences there. It's just for access to the harbor and the beach. So I would say yes.
Well, I did say yes.
Oh, okay.
I was just
They've done
happy
it
that
before.
they
They-
acknowledged it was trustee property because I didn't think it was.
All right, so those are being graded.
Yeah.
Great. Sag Harbor Water Quality Initiative, we heard from.
She's coming back.
And here's the biggie, new floors in the trustee office. Nightmare.
Yeah, so
That's happening, right?
That's happening.
Yeah.
this is, the whole building is getting new floors. So the whole building has to be emptied and new floors put down and then repopulated.
Wow.
So
Maybe we can get a shed.
this work is scheduled to begin November 10th.
Yeah.
And it's
How long?
It's
will
gonna
it
take about a week.
Okay.
10th to the 14th. so they say, about a week.
What kind of floor are they gonna put down?
Sorry?
Well, they're gonna put down like vinyl planks or what kind of floor?
Pre-finished.
Linoleum?
The vinyl.
It's the bond,
I think it's the vinyl laminate type flooring.
okay.
So the question is where we put all our files, right?
Well, we have the outlines of a plan. The plan is to label, the biggest problem is the file cabinets are fireproof, so they're very heavy to begin with.
They're
and they
lined,
can't
they're
really
lined
be
with
moved-
concrete.
Can't be moved with the files in them. So the plan is to label the file cabinets, then empty the file cabinets into boxes which have been purchased, and label the boxes to the cabinet. Then the boxes and the cabinets and everything in the office, the whole office is going to be moved into the into pods, which have been ordered, I believe, yes, which have been
Yes.
ordered,
Where are the pods going to be placed?
Front lawn.
probably on the lawn,
The front lawn?
front lawn.
Okay,
Do we have to have our floors redone too?
yes.
No choice.
The whole building, yes. This is a capital project that the town initiated. It's supposed to be coordinated by the housing office,
It's-
that we share the building with.
It's been in the works for about 4 years.
Okay.
So,
Just get it
So,
done.
what we need, or what the office, the problem is, the office is working on trustee business. There's a lot of dock work being done. There's duct blinds going out, there's bills being paid. The office itself probably doesn't really have the wherewithal to keep working on trustee business and do all this work. Another problem is apparently the responsibility for what's gonna happen to the office while this working is going on, where it might go, where it might operate out of, is apparently being left up to us. So immediately, there has to be some assumption of responsibility for finding out what that means, where that is, where the office is gonna go.
Do they have an estimate of how many hours of work this would be to do?
No,
So that's the first thing I would ask is, how many hours of work? Guess.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to staff that? Can you hire contractors to do that work?
The other
the
question.
actual move of the material is supposedly gonna be done by the Parks Department.
Okay,
But we are gonna have to, make it movable. They're not gonna empty the file cabinets. I don't think we'd want them to empty the file cabinets. We want to keep track of that stuff.
We have
And
to-
then there's stuff in the office that's, from, say, for example, from the contest has been, removed from certain boxes and isn't necessarily back in the boxes again. And kind of.
can we
that's
get a shed outside or, a place where we could keep stuff like that?
Yes, we understand.
Yeah.
That's also been.
If we're
thought
gonna
about for a
use
while.
those archive people, it'd be a good time for them to come take everything out of the office, but not doing that.
Well, we're not doing.
No, I know.
So do we have a plan who's gonna do that or where?
No, that's why this is on the agenda, actually.
Does the town have any extra space that we could use as a satellite office?
Well,
for
we
me?
don't know that
Mhm.
because, in talking to, in talking to some people who apparently the downstairs in this building, there's a similar thing happening.
Same time?
They've, one person in the office took it upon themselves to find the space that they're gonna operate out of.
Where's that? Is
They're
it-
gonna use conference rooms in 300 Pantago Place.
Mhm.
So, I think we need to have a couple of trustees fulfill that responsibility, find out where the office is gonna go,
Mhm.
line up that space,
Probably more than a week,
and then
right?
get in touch with IT to, say, this is what the office needs, this is where they're going. Coordinate with our office to make this move.
Or can we just have the office closed for a week and catch up on back work?
Well, where are we gonna do that? We need
At home.
computers, files.
Right, well, we have a boatload of laptops.
Can they work remote?
I don't think, I talked to Allison a lot about this and Arlene, and at least, Allison's working on the docs now. She needs the files, she needs
Yeah, but
computers, she
but-
needs, abilities to copy and mail and that kind of thing. And I don't, it doesn't seem practical to think, they can just stay home for a week with a laptop and.
So we're gonna need,
Maybe, I don't know about Arlene exactly.
we're gonna need
I
space
can work
for
on minutes.
at least three, the week before, the week of, and the week after.
So, right.
We're gonna need space for at least 3 weeks. The week before to move in, week we're closed, and then the week after to work and move back in. So it's gonna be at least 3
Well, the
weeks.
office can keep working up until the actual move.
Everything needs to be out by a certain time, and it doesn't all happen at once. That'll happen the week before.
Yeah, if
They're
you have
gonna
to get
start
every,
moving stuff out of the building on
Mhm.
November 10th. So, yeah, everything's gonna have to be ready to move.
Yeah,
That I
Right.
think, I think trustees need to indicate whether they can help out with that
Mhm.
and commit to that. That packing up, the office can probably do a certain amount of it.
Mhm.
The office is certainly gonna have to sort of, oversee it because they're organizing it. But the actual work, I think, both of it's gonna have to be.
you have a compressed timeline here, so you need a certain amount of hours of availability in that timeline, making it really, that would be a risk that the people you were counting on aren't available in that timeline at that number of hours. You could look for an external data, manpower source like contractors who do this kind of work. And you bring in a crew of 5 people for a week. Something like that. I just think it's a compressed timeline, no matter how you look at it.
What's the date? Do the dates yet?
The
November
10th through
10th to
the-
the 14th.
14.
What's the
And
start date?
we could also, like we did with the docs, we could, if there's, I don't know, 18 file boxes, if each trustee did 2 file boxes, just to pack it.
Tell them how many file boxes we're gonna.
Is there more than 18?
We have 400 boxes.
The file is like 24 bucks.
We have 15 file cabinets, each with 4 drawers. Each drawer is likely going to take at least 2 file boxes.
So, I mean, that's just one
That's
suggestion.
just the cabinet.
And the plan is to take a drawer. They go in, if it's 2 boxes, if it's in 2 boxes. If it's short, we don't take stuff from the next drawer and put that in.
It's a new box.
It's a new box.
I get,
Well, who can, put some time into this
Okay.
in the next, between now and November 10th? I think that's the first step we have to.
sure there's stuff we could start packing up that's just never touched now, right?
Yeah,
We could start this next week, yes. I think we're gonna have to start this next week, actually.
yeah, we can start as soon as we can. Yeah, I could do some hours.
Should we have
Yeah.
like a sign-up sheet for people? I mean,
Yeah,
so they could look at their schedules and figure what they can do.
think it's better for like a bunch of us are there at once, or can one or two people there at a time?
I think it's probably better if one or two people are there.
Bumping into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much room in the where the file cabinets are.
Yeah, but I might go in on like a Saturday and you aren't there, so I'll go in ahead of time. You'll be like, okay, here's what you guys can start with, do these, and then here's the boxes, and then we could go in on our own time, you know? We all have keys, so that's what I'm picturing. Like, school days are busy for me. I could do.
I
Well,
think
maybe like if you could go on a weekend, maybe you could sort of do the stuff in the conference room that, you know, maybe not the office
Oh, yeah. Like,
files, which, you know, maybe the Arlene and Allison want to
Right.
be there for.
like all the
Yeah.
clam stuff.
Are the containers, will the boxes or containers and stuff supposed to go into, will they be there?
No,
No.
Pods?
It's just
I don't
packing.
know when they were.
It's just packing?
Is this a good opportunity to kind of cleanse ourselves of some stuff, some clutter that we don't need?
pods
I
are
was thinking
supposed
that,
to-
but it's like, it's a whole
Like, should we
nother.
get a small dumpster too, or?
Allison, when are the pods?
we don't have an
Trustee
exact
truck
delivery
have a-
date for the pods yet, but they're expected sometime next week, but that should
Does
be, we
the
should have
trustee
that
truck have a
answered by the
dumpster?
beginning of the week. But the
We can
the
go in.
goal is not that you would be going in and packing things up and putting them in the pods. It's effectively boxing the stuff up. They will be moving,
Oh, they'll move the.
they're like physically moving the boxes and furniture into the pods. So what's needed from the board is like packing the stuff in the office into boxes.
Well, maybe we can move all the clam stuff like into the pod, and then we could put all the boxes in that room to get them ready to be moved. Does that make sense?
Parks is gonna move stuff to the pods.
I know, but we need to make room to fill the boxes that we're gonna fill, the 400 boxes, you know?
There might be also some space downstairs, but I'm not 100%.
And then that's stuff that we know we can just move to make space.
Well, actually Arlene kind of cleaned up the conference
okay. Oh.
room, so there's more
More
open
space.
space
Yeah,
there
well-
now. So a lot of boxes,
Take the
a
tables
lot of
down.
boxes can be stored in the conference room.
Yeah.
And one thing, well, this really is irrelevant in a way, it's not irrelevant, but there might be the ability for some of the bigger stuff, like desks and conference tables and stuff, to be moved from one part of the building to the other. The floors are being done in our office, maybe big stuff could be moved into the housing office and vice versa.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense. That's why if they're using like vinyl flooring or something like that, where they can lay it down in one place, then put the furniture there, that would make much more sense than to just try to get the furniture out.
Well, some of the furniture, some of the desks that we have, or at least one of them, is gonna have to be disassembled and, because it won't fit through the doorway the way it is. So I think we're gonna have to expect that there may be some damage to some of our furniture or desks, so we might have to think about some replacements.
To
Really?
respond to what you said about moving furniture from one area of the building to the other, the contractors are not going to do that.
I think they
That was
are.
not included in
Well,
their estimate.
the contractors and parks are going to do the moving of the stuff from the building to the pods and back.
Right, but moving them around the building as they work, I seriously doubt that they're going to do that.
That was
Because
brought up.
that's time lost. They're coming all the way out here from up Island.
Well,
And-
what was the discussion about that, Allison?
There was some conversation that we received from the housing office, the person who's leading it in the housing office, that there is a possibility that if everything doesn't fit in the pods, they may be leaving some furniture items in the building and doing just what John expressed, moving
Okay,
it from
well,
one.
in
But
my
I
experience,
agree with you. I don't
in
see
my
that actually happening.
experience doing town projects, it would be a first.
I agree. No, I think that it would be a waste of time as well.
All right, so we don't
Well, maybe,
need to plan this whole thing out here.
no, but maybe, what I would like is for everybody to put in an email, you know, the dates. Today we're between now and November 10th, when they might be available and for how many hours.
And we need to find a space, satellite office, right?
Yeah,
I think
You and I are
Francis
gonna
and I
have
are
to
gonna
do
have to
it.
do that, basically.
Okay, we'll email.
all right,
Get it done. That's a big project.
yeah.
I think, you know, I think it could be done.
Remember we discussed
Yep.
putting the files on electronic media. Would this be a good time or not a good time to
It'd
kind
probably
of?
be the worst, it'd probably be the worst time. I mean, we're
Why? I
trying
mean,
to, because who's gonna
we
do
wouldn't have
this?
to touch them that much then. We would have somebody, what do you call it, microfilm them or photograph them.
It was really
In the next-
expensive.
In the next 2 weeks?
They were going to be scanned, and if you recall, we had a price for it, and this board was opposed to spending the money.
It was very expensive.
Was it?
Yeah,
It was approaching $100,000.
Oh, wow.
But that would also include us having to sort through and filter through the files, and
yeah,
which we don't have
which we
the
needed to
time
do
for.
ourselves, yeah.
Right.
But on
Yeah.
that topic, I know that the town board is they're doing a similar archiving right now, and they've been using like high school interns to scan stuff in. And so maybe that's something we could do down the road.
We'll see how it works for them.
Yeah, yeah. I think so far it's working pretty good from what I've heard, yeah. So it's not a bad idea.
Do that.
They can get their experience there.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a great job for robots using artificial intelligence.
Better every day, right? So
Right, exactly.
wait a few weeks.
All right, old business. New York legislature ban on commercial taking of horseshoe crab. Trustee opportunity for second letter.
I can update you on that. So we signed this very exact same legislation was passed by the House and the Senate last year, I think, 2020, what the last time we signed it. And the start of this year, they passed it again. So the one that we objected to and Governor Hochul did not sign, she rejected it. The reason was it was going to not allow the DEC to put any limits on horseshoe crabs. It would, in terms of quotas, that it would be absolutely illegal for anybody to touch a horseshoe crab in New York. So there would be no commercial and no biomedical exceptions. So they passed it again. And it's probably on the governor's desk now. And the question is, do we want to ask the governor to not sign it again? Nothing's changed from our perspective. We still, nothing has changed at all. They just decided to push it through again.
Well, we just had the results from our study, and it was another remarkable year, highest numbers yet, right?
Yeah.
So
I
if we
think
took
we should
that
send
letter-
letter number 2.
Yeah. I think so.
If we took the letter that we sent the last time and add that statement into it to update it to, our current findings, and then resend it to Governor Hochul, copying our new Assemblyman Schiavone and get the other person's name. But those were the two people we copied on it. We went to Governor Hochul.
Apparently, the governor is not going to, he's gonna veto this anyway. But
Okay, but she
need
needs
to see
support.
it, Yeah.
And,
I
are
think
there
the
other,
most important thing, I think, is the DEC's opposition to the ban.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
the quota that they set was lower than the recommended quota of the larger organization along the eastern seaboard. that looks at horseshoe crab populations, and that quota, which was lower than the recommended quota, wasn't even met, so.
Right.
Can I ask a dumb question? I was unaware there was a horseshoe crab fishery.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
It's bait.
Used
What do
for
you make out of them?
It's
Crab
bait.
soup?
No, it's for bait, for whelk
Oh,
and
for
eel.
bait. Okay, okay.
They cut them up in quarters.
That's bait. Okay, I was gonna say, I've really never heard
Bait.
of, never been to a restaurant where they were serving horseshoe crab.
They used to use
Apparently,
their
there's
blood
also a market for their blood,
blood for
Biomedical?
vaccines.
Okay, really?
Yeah,
cancer research.
yeah. But now they can make it synthetically, so they don't use actual
Wow.
horseshoe crabs.
Learn something new all the time.
Do we know if other townships along the shore of the island are doing horseshoe counts? Crab counts?
Yeah, well, there are big crab counts done in other townships. I don't know if the, people from the town trustees or board members are doing it. Part of their, work.
It would be interesting to see their results if they're similar to ours.
Yeah.
I think they were, I mean, Cornell, DEC and Cornell coordinate all this, all these counts, that information's available. Now, Tim would know better. He goes to the meetings in the beginning of the year. But I'm pretty sure in the Peconics anyway, the other locations that count crabs have seen similar increases in the last couple of years to what we've seen.
Mhm.
I think that on the Great South Bay counts and the North and the Long Island Sound counts might be a little bit apples to oranges comparison to the Peconics.
Mhm.
I'm not sure about that.
Mhm. So second letter. Committee reports, aquaculture, opening day for scallop season, November 9th.
Right, we just thought that would be important to announce. The office has gotten some inquiries about the scallop season. I think if you remember last year or the year before, there was some confusion with the coordinating the opening, town opening that we set with the opening of Lake Montauk, which is the responsibility of the town board to set. In the town code, there was language, longstanding language that opened the scallop season, I forget when, but sometime in early October. And for many years, the scallop season in town waters has been opened a week after the state opening. And the state in maybe the past 10 or 15 years has extended their date of opening for a variety of reasons, to favor the scallop population generally. And every year we passed a resolution setting the opening date of scallop season in Trustee Waters as a week after that opening, state opening day. But as a result of the confusion last year, the town board did change the code language. So now the code language actually says that, the town scallop season at all town waters will be set a week after the state opening date. So there's no need for us to do any more resolutions because it's in the code. But people still are a little confused because of what's gone on in the last few years, so. November 9th.
So are there any scallops?
Good
Not
question.
too many.
Doesn't
no.
look really,
Apparently there was a really good set of scallops in the spring. But there's a persistent parasite that kind of picks them off through the summer. So it's not really looking too promising.
Is this caused by the warming of the water?
It's hard to say if a parasite shows up, what brings it on. Parasites have shown up in the oyster populations from time to time. probably in the 60s, I want to say. Some, parasites that hadn't been seen before showed up and persist in the oyster population.
Has a parasite been identified?
I'm sure it has. I don't know.
Because I know at one time they were discussing cow nose rays.
Oh, yeah, cow-nose rays could be another problem.
Yeah,
They've shown up more. In the
Yeah.
last few years.
There's been a lot. John, what day will it start?
Sunday, November 9th.
Thank you.
Cow-nose rays is definitely a one issue, because that's a more traditionally southern species that isn't.
There have been photographs of them coming into the bays this year. There's a lot.
I've seen videos of them, like.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cow nose rays, these big stingrays.
Predators.
Yeah, they're big.
They just suck up they suck them right up, eat them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good taste.
Yeah.
They'll eat oysters too, seed oysters anyway.
Eventually we'll have nothing but predators and, prey.
We'll be having cow-nose rays hatcheries in 50 years.
Are we going to put this on our website, the opening day and the closing day?
It already
It
is.
already is.
Yeah, it's already on the website.
Okay, good. Then there should be no confusion.
Yeah. Good luck.
Theoretically.
So do you have anything else to add to that? Or you,
Not to that.
okay.
I have one thing. Are you going into the things
Go
to
ahead.
add?
Yep.
So
Go
the
ahead.
Panic Estuary Partnership, they developed this app for the maps with the water quality, and they put it into production on the Apple Store and on the iOS Store. They just put it right out there without any user testing or beta testing. And now they've considered that maybe they should do that. I suggested it to them, but they didn't think it was necessary. Now they would like to do that. So they'd like to get volunteers who use not Apple, I don't know what you call that operating system that's on
Android.
Android. Yeah, so they'd like Android users to participate in this testing. If you're interested, could you send your name and email to Marissa? And she will send you a link to participate in the testing. I can send you Marissa's email contact.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah. Fresh Pond looks like it's drastic need of some dredging. Trees took some pictures before the storm that showed it closed up, not flowing. It seemed to open up during the storm, and it seems to be flowing now, but between the picture the trees took before the storm and the picture she took after the storm, it's really, the sand has really shifted. And it's likely it's not gonna really stay flowing very well, so
Are you talking about Fresh Pond Dream?
that's right.
Yeah, I know it's it opened up pretty nicely, but then it kind of filled in again a little bit. So it's never the same dream twice. It's just always different. I've taken a lot of photographs of it.
Yeah, when we opened it, a couple of years ago, we dredged it. The flow went straight to the bay.
Right.
Over the years, the flow, and this is typical of what happens there, it meanders to the south.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then sort of a snaking of the flow to the south and then out to the bay. After the storm, it's now, the bulk of it seems to be going straight out again, right up against the jetty. So that's what happened, but I don't, it typically that fills up and then it meanders to the south. I don't know if what the bottom to the south, how it changed during the storm. So I don't know, it may continue flowing for a while. It may not. I think we should talk about dredging at this probably in late winter.
It's a tough spot because it's got two jetties, one and then another one. And so the water comes in and it hits the jetty, and then now there's a spot there in the middle where it's higher. So now instead of just one stream, there's two streams, but it's going around that high spot. So it's getting out.
We have to look into the permit situation on Fresh Pond, because I know the last time that it was dredged, it was actually done by the highway department because water was backing up onto this
Well,
road.
that was prior to our dredging.
Is that because there was water
That was
on
an
the road?
emergency dredging.
Right.
Prior, and then we got the permit, and then we did the dredging that went well up into the Dreen. That was only a couple of years ago. I think we have a 10-year permit.
Okay, I just don't recall it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that either, and we do have to check it, but I'm pretty confident that we have permit in place for that.
Chris, where would it back up? I mean, Albert's Landing Road?
Yeah, Albert's Landing Road would
Wow.
flood.
Wow.
But the water wasn't leaving the pond at all.
Wow. I've never seen that.
Yeah, so
And
Steve
it was
Lynch was able to do an emergency opening there.
when it was really clogged up before the storm, the water quality testing showed high enterovirus levels in there.
Mhm.
Well, it's a useful test, even though it's not, the top, it's not a validated test or anything like that, but it was useful in saying, hey, there's a problem here, this is blocked up. And now it's open, and I'm sure it's going to test much better this time.
The real problem with Fresh Pond is it needs to be dredged all the way back into the pond, and that hasn't been done in decades.
Yeah, the sediment that's coming out of there is like iron looking. It's very, very orange.
Right. 'Cause you
Plus,
walk
it's a
down-
low spot, and all the water, the road stormwater runoff is going into Fresh Pond. So it's got some, some stuff going in it that's not great. It's got to get out. I have a question about, well, just an observation about Accabonac Harbor and Louse Point Beach. It took a bit of a hit in this storm, in this nor'easter, and
Yep.
it's like the edge of the dune is abrupt now. But I'm sure it's going to come back. I mean, I see all the sand is still there. It's just rearranged, but it's kind of interesting how that happened. And like the stairs down, little pathway we had, it's different. You just have to be careful there. And some of the sand, when you walk on the beach, it's like quicksand and you step in it and, it's just very loose.
I walked it yesterday. It's very, not yesterday, day before. You were there yesterday, weren't you? Yeah, it's very narrow, and I believe that there's supposed to be a dredging there this winter, in which case that dune will be rebuilt.
Right. It
It
seems
also-
like
It
a lot-
destroyed our kayak racks there too. I
The storm
think,
did? Storm did?
Took it all, it's all down on the ground.
Flattened it out.
Wow.
And we lost our signs. Our no driving signs, brand new.
Do we have a second one?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I think we have to think about moving those kayak wrecks somewhere else. Every winter, there's a problem with them, and it's not a great spot.
No, it's not. I would say if you're gonna put that kayak rack back, I would say those people should get their kayaks out by the end of the summer, not stay until November. It's just too exposed to storms.
My opinion is we need a new location because it's just too many problems there.
Yeah.
Last winter wasn't a bad winter, and I dug in. A lot of sand came out from under the kayak racks when they were originally placed the year before. And I had to dig them down a little deeper so they weren't way up in the air.
Yeah,
Now
they were at an angle.
laying down on the beach, so.
There's,
every winter that's gonna be
there's a lot
problem.
of water in the creek now, and I don't know if it's gonna recede, but there was a big log that lines like near the launch ramp. It's a very big log, and you used to be able to walk around it. Now you have to walk on the other side of the log. The water is up to that point, so there's a lot going on there. When the water recedes, maybe it'll be different.
I just have some blue-green algae update.
Okay,
We've got a few new blue-green algae. Counts since the last meeting. So the bottom 4 counts come in since the last meeting. They're still in the 350, 400 micrograms per liter range. They're still lower than corresponding time frame from 2024, which is up above, the graph above, which are in the 450 to 620 range. So that's the latest. And then one interesting blue-green algae fun fact is that there was a report of very discolored water in Big Reed Pond. I think it was last week or maybe a week and a half ago. They tested it. Go Blue Lab tested it, and it came up 28,777 micrograms per liter.
Blue-green algae?
Blue-green algae.
It's Big Reed.
In Big Reed Pond, yeah.
oh, wow.
I guess some private person or I don't know who did it, but somebody ran the sample up to the lab. And apparently there hasn't been another sample taken since that count. So I'm not sure what's happened there. That's quite a striking number.
Scary.
What's that?
Was the person who brought it up to the lab trained in sampling?
I don't know how they would have generated blue-green algae on the trip. I don't know. I don't know I don't know how important the sampling is for blue-green algae, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, just quickly, tomorrow Friends of Georgica and Surf Rider are doing a beach cleanup, 10 to 12, meeting at Beach Lane, walking down to Georgica Pond in the ocean. So if you want to help clean up plastics and pollutions, come on down. So that's going to be 10
What was
o'clock
it?
to beach,
Okay.
10 o'clock at Beach Lane tomorrow.
Oh,
Beach
tomorrow.
cleanup. That's it.
Anyone else? Going once? All right, move on to administrative payment of the bills. Following bills need to be paid. East Hampton Star, $51.17 for a legal ad. East Hampton Marina, $153.70. What is this?
Oh, maybe I typed it wrong. It was four
$30?
bills.
Okay, $30, $129.40, and $142.50, all for fuel. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else? Do I have a motion to close?
Motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.